Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today for my 4 whimsical spring DIYs. These are wooden letters that come from Dollar Tree, and I'm trying to get the letters for spring, and I'm going to use some cosmetic wedges to paint them. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me. I'd love to have you subscribe so you can see more of my DIYs. And for those of you who have already been subscribed and have been so supportive, thank you and welcome back. So I'm going to set these letters aside and let them dry. And Dollar Tree has these pictures. These are all the different kinds that they have. And these are what I'm going to use to build the DIY. So I'm going to turn it over and just peel the backing off. It peels off really easily. Guys, I'm under the weather again, so I'm sorry if my voice is a little nasally, but I've just been going through it lately. I want to get all of the sticky backing off as much as I can. And you can see it's just like a picture frame. It has the 4 little bendy things. That's the technical term for them. So I'm going to bend back the bendy things, remove the MDF backing and the picture. And of course, I'm going to save this for something else. So I'm going to use the edge of this razor blade to scrape the letters off. I tried using a fingernail polish remover and that didn't work. It may be because the fingernail polish remover that I had was not 100% pure acetone, but it didn't do anything. So I just ended up scraping the letters off for all the picture frames. This is a paper book that I found at Walmart, and I'm just looking for the paper that I want to use for this first frame. And I chose this pink paper. There's a dotted line going down the page, and I thought it was perforated. It wasn't, so I just tore the paper out. And using the MDF backing as a guide, I'm going to cut out a template. And I'm going to insert it back into the frame, as well as the MDF backing. It was still a little too big, so I did have to cut it down just a little bit more, just slightly. One other tip, guys, that I ended up doing for the other picture frames, I dumped the sequins out before I scraped the lettering out. It just makes it so much easier. So that's how the first one turned out. I did that one in real time. And now this one is going to go super fast. That was me using the fingernail polish remover. And as you can see, it did nothing. And so yeah, dump the sequins out before you scrape the letters, because now it just makes it a neater process. So these are how all the frames turned out with the different papers that I use with the different colored sequins. I did leave a hanger on one of them because I thought I was going to use that hanger, but I do end up removing it. Dollar Tree also sells little packets of sequins, but they come in a different colored multi-pack. So if you wanted to get the same color in one of these picture frames, you would have to buy a few packs to get one color, this much of one color. So this was a pretty good buy for Dollar Tree to get this much of the same colored sequence. So these are the letters, they're all dried. And if you didn't want to use the sequence, you could also use these multicolored foam beads. And they also have these beads in the same color as well. So I'm just going to use some hot glue to add the letters to the picture frames. And this would be great. You could spell out your child's name, your name. You could spell out Easter, summer, winter, whatever. So here I am taking the hanger off and using hot glue to glue the frames together. And now to make it more stable, I'm going to use these popsicle sticks that I got from Dollar Tree and add them to the back for more stability because I will be hanging this up. I want to be sure the frames are nice and secure together. And now the 3-year-old in me comes out and I start shaking this thing around like a crazy person. Woo, one side to the next, yay. I couldn't help it. So now I'm gonna take these lilacs, these are florals from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna add them as well as a couple of butterflies from Butterfly Picks from Dollar Tree. I can't talk today. And I was gonna leave the succulent pieces on, but I did take them off. And because the colors in the papers are so different, you could use a lot of different kinds of florals. You could just use whatever you have at home. So to hang this up, I use some nautical rope and a heavy-duty stapler to staple the nautical rope to the back. And this is the final product. I think it's so cute. And it would look great on a front door as well if you didn't want to do a wreath. It's a great alternative. I got this mason jar like this from Walmart. I believe it was $3.98. Of course, you could use a mason jar you already have at home, paint it with some white chalk paint, and it's the same thing. Now I'm going to take some nautical rope and I'm going to cut 2 of the same lengths, and using hot glue I'm just going to add the rope on either side of the mason jar to mimic handles. And then I'm going to take some twine and securing it with hot glue, I'm just going to wrap it around the top of the jar. And I'm not looking for full coverage here. I'm just going for kind of a rustic look. And I just want to cover up some of the white at the top. So I found this Ray Dunn lettering in bloom. So I'm gonna try to freehand it as much as I can. And this is actually a wet erase marker that I'm using, but it works great. So this was the black marker that I had, so that's what I used. I think it came out okay. It's a little crooked, but you know, we'll just say that was a happy accident. So using some of this Dollar Tree foam that comes in a pack of 4, I'm gonna put 1 piece of foam in, and then this greenery that I've gotten from Dollar Tree is my favorite, and I've been waiting to use it, and I didn't want to cut it up because I like it so much. So I'm using it now. And then to help fill the jar out, I'm gonna take some moss also from Dollar Tree and just put it right at the opening of the jar to help this greenery stay in place and be more secure so it doesn't move around so much. I found this little wire basket at Walmart as well, and I'm gonna use it 2 different ways. First, I'm just gonna take a little bit of this Excelsior grass from Dollar Tree and these speckled eggs, and I'm just gonna place the eggs in the basket, and then I'm gonna use that piece of twine that came with the eggs and tie a bow around the top. Super easy farmhouse look. Bam, done. But I have something else in mind for it. I found this lace burlap at Walmart as well. So I want a length to cover the whole basket, actually to fit inside the basket. So I'm just gonna measure it out here. And for some reason, I grabbed the small scissors. I don't know why. And then when I get to the lace part, I realized, hey, you need bigger scissors that were right next to me. So I grabbed those and finished cutting it. And I'm not gonna glue any of this fabric, I'm just gonna fold it. So I want the lace to be towards the bottom of the pail. So I fold it over, and I'm just gonna cut off that little excess there for my Cricut cut. And now I'm gonna fold it over onto itself and put it into the basket. They also have this basket in a larger size, but I just wanted the small one. The larger one was too big for the look that I was going for. And now for this top part, I'm just going to fold it down. Super easy, super simple. I do a little bit of gluing and cutting on this part because I don't want to cover the handles of the pail. So I do cut the burlap around the handle, and I do glue down these raw edges that I folded over. And now that that is all done, I'm gonna take a bag from Dollar Tree and ball it up, put it in the bottom of the pail, and take the Excelsior grass, the same Excelsior grass. I do use a bit more this time, the same speckled eggs, and this craft paint bunny. I just want the bunny. I pull the top out, and I'm gonna use a little bit more grass so the bunny can sit up higher, and that's it. Super simple, very easy. 2 really cute rustic farmhouse style DIYs for spring/Easter. Dollar Tree is selling these Trinket pots, and I found them over by the cash registers. These are $1 succulents and air plants from Target Dollar Spot. And if you don't have those, if you have this greenery from Dollar Tree, you can of course use that too. Those will look really pretty in these pots. So I'm just gonna set the pots upright. And they come in a bunch of different patterns too, in a few different colors. These are some rocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put a few rocks in each of the Trinket pots. And to me, these are cuter pots than the regular ones that the Dollar Tree succulents come in. When I took the first air plant off the stem, it did fall apart, so I had to glue it back together. So learning from that mistake, I added glue to all of the air plants and succulents before I took them off the stem, so this wouldn't happen again. Also, if you wanted to keep it on the stem, but you could either bend the stem or cut it shorter, so you won't have to deal with that at all. But I did want these to mimic real air plants, and so I just took them off the stem. So you can see me adding extra glue to the succulents to avoid that problem. Like I said before, these little pots I think are so cute as planters instead of trinket pots. I think they elevate the air plant and the succulent look so much. And what a great find for $1 each. They look great on a windowsill, on a desk, anywhere really. And like I said, they do come in a lot of different colors. So thank you guys for joining me today. I'm sorry my voice is still a little wacky, but I hope you enjoyed these DIYs. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share this video with someone you know who's looking forward to spring, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of my future DIYs. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was so great to see you again, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye.